Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And you already know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Big win by the New York Knicks tonight. Big win. We needed this one. And they knew that they needed this one. The Knicks came out like they needed this one. The Knicks came out with aggression. They had that pep that we talked about. Maybe it's because they were playing the Detroit Pistons. But they had that pep in their step, and that's exactly what we needed from this team, ladies and gentlemen. And Norvell Pell, at the end of the game, after, I don't think he broke his finger. I think he not pulled it out of place. Put it back in place, knocked down a free throw, then came back and got 2 big blocks. That's the type of energy that you need. And I know the game was over by then, but you can take that and bring it to the next game. So, big game from the Knicks tonight, man. Big game from the Knicks. The Knicks started off the game just blistering the Detroit Pistons. Blistering the Detroit Pistons in that first quarter. They start off like basically 14-0 or 14-1 or something crazy like that, and they never let up from there. They never let up, although there were times when it felt like there was a teetering point where it felt like the Pistons could inch back into that game. But the Knicks jump out to a 30-point lead. 30-point lead behind good ball movement. Elfrid Payton, 9 assists tonight. I know you guys don't like to hear that, but he had 9 assists tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Behind good ball movement from the Knicks. They were looking for each other. There was a point in time where it got a little stagnant, but they got back to doing what they can do and what they know how to do. So it was a strong game. Julius Randle killed him in the first quarter. You heard, if you listen to the post game, you heard Alan Hahn talk about the way that Julius Randle has responded. When he has a bad game, he always responds with a monster game. Julius Randle had 20.6 rebounds and 2 assists in the first quarter. He was 7 for 10 from the field, 4 for 6 from the three-point line, and 2 for 2 from the free throw line in that first quarter. The Knicks had a 26-point lead to end the first quarter, 41-15. In the second quarter, the Knicks maybe got a little bit sloppy. Or, they only scored 19 points in the second quarter. 26-19 in the second quarter. The Detroit Pistons outscored the Knicks 26-19 in the second quarter. The Knicks took a 19-point lead in the halftime, and I was a little bit nervous. Then in the third quarter, it seemed like the Pistons were trying to chip just a little bit. Then the Knicks started hitting a couple of big shots, and the lead went from 16 to 20, and then it just exploded from there, ladies and gentlemen. It exploded from there. This was the win that we needed. The Knicks win tonight by 44 points. One of the biggest wins in Knicks history. And at the end of the game, they ran down and showed some of the teams that had big wins. And it was teams like the 94 Knicks, right? The 99, 98, 99 Knicks, 72 Knicks. Not saying that about this team here. Just saying that's impressive to be, when you talk about the Knicks franchise, to be mentioned with some of those type of teams, because those teams all had monster defenses. Monster defenses. And this team obviously has a great defense. They hold the Detroit Pistons to 81 points. They needed this one, man. They needed this one bad. Great win by the New York Knicks tonight. The Detroit Pistons were led by Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant had 16 points on tonight. I almost gave you the wrong score. Jeremy Grant had 16 points on the night. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists. After that, Amadou Diallo, a guy that I wish the Knicks would have got in. I like Amadou Diallo, man. I wish the Knicks would have got in on that move to try to bring Amadou Diallo to New York. But, Hey, they didn't. He had 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist tonight. Corey Joseph had 10 points. No other Piston was in double digits tonight. Sadiq Bey had 6 points. Mason Plumlee, 9 points and 10 rebounds. Josh Jackson only had 5 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Saban Lee had 3 points. Isaiah Stewart had 4 points and 7 rebounds, although I do like Isaiah Stewart. I like that kid. Killian Hayes didn't score at all. Wayne Ellington had no points. Frank Jackson, 5 points, and Tyler Cook, he had 5 points. As for the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks, and I got to bring the music back for the Knicks tonight. Got to bring the music back when I'm running down their box score tonight. Because they played a heck of a ball game, man. You see, you can't even see everybody who played on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Can't even see them all because everybody got a chance to touch the floor tonight. That's what we like to see. Julius Randle had 29 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Again, he had 20 points in that first quarter. Just killing. Julius Randle, 9 for 16 on the night, 5 for 9 from the three-point line, 6 for 7 from the free throw line. Clearly a player of the game for the New York Knicks. Reggie Bullock, he had 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist on the night. He also had 1 steal. Played a big game. R.J. Barrett had 14 points, 4 assists, 2 steals. Elfrid Payton had 11 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds. Derrick Rose had 7 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 rebounds. Taj Gibson, he had 11 points and 5 rebounds. Alec Burks didn't score tonight, but that's okay because Reggie Bullock made up for it. So that's okay. We can deal with Alec Burks not scoring. Manuel quickly had 12 points. Obi Toppin, another good showing. Showing more and more energy. Showing that he's getting more and more comfortable. He had 8 points tonight. Kevin Knox was knocking it down from that corner 3. The left corner 3 tonight. And he was happy about it too. He had 9 points. 1 rebound. 1 assist. Frank Ntilikina had 1 point. Knocked down a free throw. Theo Pinson, he had no points. I thought he had 1 point. He had no points. And Norvell Pell. First game as a Knick. And I was already a little bit nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, he already broke his finger. Just played just a couple of minutes and he broke his finger already. What are we going to do at this center position? But you know what? He showed that he's a New York Knick already. As he fought through the pain of a sprained finger, pulled finger, whatever it was, a finger pulled out of place. He pushed it back in, knocked down a free throw, got a couple of blocks, energized the team. That's what I'm talking about, man. Jared Harper, he got a couple of minutes tonight. Big, big win from the New York Knicks. Tony, how you feel about this win tonight, bro? Talk to me about it, man. Can't hear you, Tony. Can't hear you, Tony. Got to get your sound up. While Tony is getting his sound up, I'm going to talk a little bit about Reggie Bullock while Tony is getting his sound in. And Tony, when your sound comes in, just jump in there. But Reggie Bullock, man, this was a good night for Reggie Bullock because so many times, ladies and gentlemen, Reggie Bullock knocks down shots in the beginning of the game, right? He's knocking down shots. And then when we finally get to the fourth quarter or late in the game, he's nowhere to be found. That wasn't the case tonight. He's knocking down shots. If we can get Reggie Bullock, and he's not going to score 22 every night, but if we can get Reggie Bullock to just consistently hit timely shots, because I think you heard Alan Hod talk about it. He had a big 3 in the third quarter when the game was teetering where you thought the Pistons could go on a run and make this a close game. Right? He had a timely 3-point bucket, put the Knicks up 20, I think, and it was, the floodgates opened from there. It's a big shout out to Reggie Bullock for having a good game tonight and showing up when we really needed somebody to show up and give us a spark of energy. And hopefully we can take this. He can take it and bring it to Brooklyn because we're going to need that on Monday. Tony? Still missing the sound, bro. I think the sound is still out. Let me see. Oh, looks like I gotta hit you with the unmute. Okay, let me hit Tony with the unmute. There we go. See, it was on me. So excited about
Shout
the
out to the
game,
chat.
44-point win. You know what I mean? There we go. My bad, Tony. My bad.
It's all good, bro. Yo, Black is time. Shout out to this chat. What's good, Sim?
I'm good, brother.
Yeah, this was a good win. This is the kind of win that they were supposed to have against this kind of team. And you know, we usually are still worried when we playing these kind of teams. So it's good to see a nice, strong performance all across the board. I don't think they ever. Maybe they cut it to 9, but if they did, it wasn't for long. You know, we were in the. They weren't in the game the whole time. 48 minutes finally.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, a nice 48-minute game from the Knicks. Maybe 46. I think there was a little stretch there.
Maybe,
you know, maybe 46. You know, there might have been a little stretch where they got a little bit stagnant. You know what I'm saying? A little bit stagnant. But for the most part, they played a pretty complete game tonight. And did the things that they needed to do to pull out this win. Defense was strong. And you know what? They never, like versus Minnesota, they took an 18-point lead. They relaxed. They never relaxed tonight. They never relaxed.
Yep.
You know, and it's like they learned their lesson against Minnesota. Because if you think about it right now, if the Knicks would have beat Minnesota, we'd still be 2 games above 500. Right? If the Knicks would have beat Minnesota. Let me see, with 25-25, yeah, we'd be 26-24 when we beat Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? And they know that they didn't take care of business against Minnesota. They know that they let their foot off the gas when they had an 18-point lead. And you could see and you could tell that they just weren't going to do that tonight. There's no way that they were going to do that tonight. They weren't going to take their foot off the gas. And I'm just so happy, really, because I was nervous. You know, there was a point in the game where I was like, here we go. We're going to let these guys really get back into it. I felt like the lead was insurmountable, but I felt like they were going to then, get it to 10, 9. And then it was going to be that kind of a battle. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that the Knicks were able to close the deal tonight. I think that was big. And I see somebody in the chat say,
sure.
It's the Pistons. You know what? You're right. It's the Pistons. Right? It's the Pistons. And so since it's the Pistons, we did what we were supposed to do versus the Pistons. You know what I mean? Every time the Knicks get a win, bro, there's always somebody who wants to put an asterisk next to the win. It's the Pistons. They didn't have this player. This team was on the second game of a back-to-back, or this game played 5 games in 7 nights. I don't give a damn. The entire league is playing these schedules, bro. We played the Pistons, yes, and we beat the Pistons the way we're supposed to beat them. So take that home with you, bro. Take that home with you. I don't want to hear it. Not here. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it. Look, the one thing that I was calling,
the games we supposed to.
Exactly. The one thing I was calling for, Tony, was energy. I just wanted to see them come out with the proper energy, and that's what they did tonight. So there's a lot of things to talk about in this game. We're gonna get to it. I'm gonna let some other guys here in the chat. Go ahead, Tone.
And Sim, did Julius even play the fourth quarter?
I don't think he played the fourth quarter. I don't think Julius Randle played in the fourth quarter, which is big.
And that might be a first. And Obi stayed on the floor. So that was good. That was good to see. Good to see.
Yeah. Julius Randle didn't play in the fourth quarter. Derrick Rose played in the fourth. Taj Gibson, Alec Burks played 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes in the fourth. Quickly played. Obi played. Knox, Frank, Theo Pinson, Norvell, and Jared Harper. All those guys played in the fourth quarter. So it was good for R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle to get a little bit of extra rest. And maybe we have a little bit more energy from those guys because we got Brooklyn on Monday. You know what I'm saying? So, that was real good. I'm going to let some guys here in the chat. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you to please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Okay, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. Please do that right away. All right, and any ladies who are in the chat, remember, the Queen Steph, she's got a show coming up. It's going to be dope. It's all for the ladies. So if we got some ladies in the chat that want to be on the panel of that show, hit me up. I'm going to put my email in the chat, and you can hit me up on that email. All right, so we got Nate in the building. We got Chop Low. We'll let these guys get situated so that their cameras are straight. You know, sound is right, all of that. You know, get everything right. We're going to get these guys up while we talk to them. Talk about this big win. And yes, whoever said it's the Pistons' big win, still a big win because the Knicks needed this win. And they came through when they needed it. And Nate, I want to ask you, right, over the last few games, we were all scared of the Knicks running out of gas and all that kind of stuff. But there was always in the back of the mind, I had a conversation with Isaiah last night. You know, he said, you know, Sim, you know, we gotta do some, you know, we gotta go back and we gotta look at the history. You know, Tom Thibodeau has to look at history. He's got to use his hindsight. And I said, Isaiah, but his hindsight says, I'm going to stick with what I'm doing because this team bounces back. Now, we still got tough games coming up. So, you know, it's just one win. It's not a full bounce back yet. It's just one win. But I think once again, Tom Thibodeau and this team has said to themselves that they can bounce back. Right? And the reason why I say this is a bounce back, at least the start of a bounce back, is because the win was so convincing. It wasn't, you know, they beat the Pistons 99-96. They blew them out by 44 points. It's a pretty good bounce back. We'll see if it can continue going into Brooklyn. But does it raise your confidence level in this team a little bit, Nate, from what we've been seeing over the past few games?
It does to some aspects. I agree with you. If this would have been like a 10-point win, I probably wouldn't have took very much out of it, you know, because I'd be like, well, we beat a bad Pistons team, but we put the beat down on them. Like, this game wasn't even close. Like, it was over in the first 5 minutes of the game. Yeah, I think it does. I mean, because I'll give you one example. Obi Toppin, man. He's playing with a lot more confidence. Mm-hmm. Like that last game, I think, is really catapult him into feeling better. Hopefully the game's slowing down for him a little bit better now. And, you know, he's starting to realize what his strengths are. And I think one of his strengths is definitely driving to the basket. He's got the athleticism to do it. And, you know, if that shot can start falling, that's even going to make him even more deadly. So I think that's one guy that's definitely taking advantage of the opportunity, especially tonight. Like he put up I think what he finished with 8 points, I think is what it was.
Yeah, like 8 points, something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like 8 points.
And going forward, we're gonna need that off the bench. I mean, you know, with Burks and all those other dudes, quickly, we're gonna need Obi Toppin scoring to definitely take some heat off Randall. I will say this about Randall. Randall had a big bounce back game. I was a little bit worried. The last 2 games, Randall looked like I don't want to say he was tired. He just looked a little disinterested. The last game against the Mavericks, he just looked like he had no, I don't know what it was going on with him. He looked like he was just in another world. You know, his shots weren't falling. He was committing stupid fouls. I really was glad to see that they got him going early because we need that. I mean, if he struggles, this team will not win, period. And so it was good to see him get off to a good start. And he still played well. I still think he's getting some dumb fouls. I don't know what's going on with like that one foul with Dennis Smith Jr. when he hit him across the lane or something. I mean, you can't make those kind of fouls, man, because, I mean, you're valuable. You know, and if that was a 4th or 5th foul, I mean, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So
but I mean,
he's got to be smarter.
The only thing I would say there is that while you can't, you know, we need Julius Randle to be in the game, right? But all it takes is one layup at the basket for a team to get going. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes if you're the one that's there, you got to prevent that layup from going in and make it difficult for the team. Now, I can guarantee you if Julius Randle had 4 fouls, he would have stepped out the way. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he would have. Now, one thing that I noticed in this game, and I don't know if it's by design, we talked about it a little bit last night, and I think I seen it again tonight. The Knicks were playing faster, and they took a lot of threes in that first half too. And there was a point where I was like, okay, you guys can chill out with the threes now because you're starting to miss them, right? But, they took a lot of threes in the first half, but they look like they're starting to play a little bit faster, taking shots a little bit quicker, and they have been shooting more threes lately. Tony, is this by design? Do you think it's by design? And let me get you, let me, there you go.
I do think it's by design. Remember I asked you this a while ago. Do you think we should be shooting more? Because our percentage has been, I believe in the top 10 all year. So I think it's by design. I also think playing fast is by design because, as time goes on, they get more accustomed to each other. They get more accustomed to what works well. So they know the plays that they could run when they're going faster, or the plays that they got to run when they slow it down. Different guys are building chemistry as well together. That pass that hitting through the RJ, I want to see more of that. The outlet, the fast break. Right. I think we're capable of doing that. So I think, and our fast break points have gone up as of late as well. Mm-hmm. We've actually been winning the fast break points against the other team in some cases. So I do think it's by design, or I think maybe it would have always been that way, but I think the chemistry is getting better and better. So I think it's just a natural progression.
Right. Okay. And something that before I even get to that, in the first quarter, the Knicks shot 16 threes. 16 threes in the first quarter for the Knicks. The second quarter, they shot 8, total of 24 threes for the half. All right, so for the first half, the Knicks were 11 for 24 from the three-point line. That's 45.8%. In the third quarter, the Knicks shot 6 threes only in the third quarter. Right, and in the third quarter, they scored 20. They still scored 28 points in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, and then, of course, this is garbage time. You know what I mean? They shot 9 threes in the fourth quarter. For a total, for the entire game, the Knicks shot 39 threes tonight, which is a lot for the Knicks. They were 19 for 39 for the three-point line. They shot 48.7%. I think against the Bucks, they shot 44 threes against the Bucks. I don't know. I think it was the Bucks. They shot 44 threes. They've been shooting a higher percentage a higher number of attempts the last few games. We'll see if this continues. Definitely something to watch. I do think they were playing at a faster pace. Something I asked myself today, when I seen Elfrid Payton was really trying and looking to find people, I felt like, and I wonder if Tom Thibodeau said to him, I want you to change your strategy in the way that you attack this basketball game. And we'll see if this continues, going forward. I felt like earlier in the season, because of course we were struggling to score. But Alec Burks wasn't there. We had some injuries to some guys that are supposed to be scorers. I felt like Tom Thibodeau told him, go to the basket and try to score at the rim. Right, you can go back and check streams early in the season where I had this discussion about Elfrid Payton and that I thought Tom Thibodeau told him to try to score. I wonder if now Tom Thibodeau is telling him we need you to distribute more, because it seemed like he was consciously looking to pass the ball, not just passing because it was there, but consciously looking to get that ball to people who were open. right? So, we'll see if this continues with Elfrid Payton. If so, that'll be a big benefit for us, for him to distribute that ball a little bit more, right? He took 12 shots tonight. It's 4 for 12 from the field. He knocked down 1 3, but he's still only 25% from the three-point line. 11 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. If we can get him to distribute that ball a little bit more, I think that's a benefit for us. If Obi Toppin can continue to give us good, strong minutes, that's another benefit for us. And then it's like instead of the fact that we made a move at the trade deadline, we're finding pieces of our team that can give us a boost in that second half, and it's exactly what we need right now. Because I really did feel like even when we won some of those games, like versus the Bucks and versus the Wizards, I felt like we were a little bit asleep at the wheel. A little bit of sleep at the wheel. So some of those things could, give us a little bit of a boost. Tony, do you think that Tom Thibodeau has asked Payton to maybe change up a little bit, change up just a little bit and play a different style of game?
I gotta be honest. I missed last game. I noticed, so I can't base it off of that. Are you just talking about tonight?
I'm just talking about tonight.
Trend?
Yeah, just tonight, because it hasn't been a trend yet. Okay. I'm just saying tonight, it just felt like to me when I'm watching him play that his head was really up looking to find who I could. Normally, he gets the ball and, he comes off a screen and he's looking to see, can I get to the cup? Tonight, he was looking, his head was up looking to see who was open. And to me, that's what kind of made me think maybe Tom Thibodeau said, I need you to change your strategy in the way that you're attacking the basketball game.
So I don't know who tweeted it, but I read a tweet earlier that said, we got vintage Payton tonight. And to me, I just think this is Payton at his best. I don't know if it was Thibodeau that told him or a conscious effort on his own, but I think he's capable of giving double-digit assists if that's his goal, if that's what his mind is set on. So I don't know if it clicked on his own or not, but I definitely agree that we could use a lot more of this. He just has to be aggressive when it's his time to score. You know what I mean? I don't think he has to really look for his shot. I think he should look to distribute, and then you catch guys off guard when you end up being the option. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so that's the best I can answer that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it would be good because it'll take some responsibility off of Julius Randle. You know what I mean? Julius Randle had 3 assists tonight. Not that he wasn't looking and didn't find people, because he did, and some people missed some shots, which is going to happen. But if he can become that distributor, facilitator out there, then it's going to take a load off of Julius Randle. Now he doesn't have to do everything. Who cares if his assist numbers change? I don't care. He doesn't have to do everything. He can focus on scoring the basketball and grabbing rebounds.
And it lets everybody play to their strength now. Because believe it or not, that is more of his strength than scoring. Just like scoring is more of Randall's strength than assists, along with RJ. You know what I mean? And I think it's something to look out for. And see, especially if he's going to continue to start.
And not only that, but I mean, with Payton as a point guard, the point guard mentality should be to kind of get everybody off to a good start, because you're going to need those. You're going to have those opportunities where we're going to not. I mean, you're going to have those situations where we don't score and have lulls, and you're going to need somebody to step up and make some buckets. And so, if you get them off early, hopefully they can sustain that through the whole game. And I mean, Payton has that ability. It's kind of been a quandary why he hasn't his assist numbers haven't been higher, but I think he's also been trying to score a lot more. But yeah, I'd like to see him become more of a facilitator because he's just going to make everybody else better. I mean, and this team desperately needs a point guard to get others involved.
Right.
I mean, I cannot stress that enough. I think that's one of the reasons why we're looking at another point guard.
And what I'd like to see him do is two things. Help Randall get some easier buckets, right, by running a little screen and roll, pick and pop, right, a little pick and pop with Randall. Help him get easier buckets so he doesn't have to battle to score every time. Help Nerlens Noel, right? Find the way to have a two-man tandem with Nerlens Noel. Make Nerlens Noel a little bit more of a threat. If it's by you penetrating and dipping it to him, maybe you guys find a little bit of chemistry in the pick and pop, pick and roll, or whatever it is. If you can find that, right, now that adds a little bit more of a scoring punch and another threat out there on the floor because you're not just ignoring Nerlens Noel. Now, of course, Nerlens Noel has to, he's got to do something with it, right? He's got to catch the ball. He's got to be able to throw down a couple of those oops, and do some things like that. So, and then, of course, when you can find RJ, when you can find Reggie Bullock, you find those guys. But right now, Julius Randle has a good chemistry with Reggie Bullock. He has a good chemistry with RJ. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm Thibodeau, I'm like, hey, I want you to focus on helping Randle get some easy shots. Even RJ helping Randle get some easy shots, and then helping Nerlens Noel get into the game. So I'm hoping and thinking that maybe Tom Thibodeau has had that kind of discussion with him. Go ahead, Tom.
I've also noticed. Now this I could say has been a trend. RJ really looking for Noel's off of his driving, and I say over maybe the past 5 games, a lot of assists or attempt assists to Noel's off of a drive. So
right,
and I think a lot of that is because RJ draws attention when he's driving to the paint. I don't know if Payton necessarily does as much as far as drawing the attention, and I think that's kind of why it gets a little cloggy with him, especially like trying to dish off to down low. But I do think, and this is funny because the narrative is that he doesn't pass to RJ. I think when he does pass to RJ, I think he should look for RJ more. And I'm not saying that because the narrative is that he doesn't. I just think that when he does, it's usually a good pass. It's usually an assist, and it's usually either an open 3 or an opportunity for RJ to do what he does best, which is penetrate.
Yeah.
But I think Randall and RJ have been really finding Noel lately more than anybody else. I would like to see more of that from those two.
Right. And what I'm saying about with Julius Randle, because normally when he finds Julius Randle, he's just giving him the ball in the post and then clearing out so Randle can go, post up and go one-on-one. I'd like to see him do more with Randle than just giving him the ball in the post. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's not helping. That's not helping. Anyone can give him the ball in the post. So I think their little tandem should be more of a pick and pop because he's a threat to go to the basket, right? So if he comes off of a screen from Randle, they've got to help out because Elfrid Payton can get to the basket. They've got to help out. And then he finds Randle on a pick and pop. Bam, a nice little easy pull-up jump shot for Julius Randle. Instead of just always finding him in the post. That's what he does. He just gets the ball and he finds him in the post. Then he cuts through to the other side of the floor to let Randle go one-on-one, go into the lane, and then kick it out to Bullock or RJ Barrett. You know what I'm saying? Now, with RJ Barrett.
Real quick, Sim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think, because I agree with you 100%, and I also think the same thing can be said with RJ and Randle. They haven't really found their chemistry yet. I think they kind of just give the ball up to one another as if to say, all right, your turn. You know what I mean?
True.
Like RJ, Randall's really found the most chemistry, I think, with Bullock more than anybody else.
Because he knows where Bullock is.
A real synergy, if you will. So my question is, if you had to pick top 3 or top 5, what 2 players do you think have the best chemistry as a 1-2? You know what I mean? On our team. Either top 3 or top 5. I definitely think number 1 would be Randall and Bullock.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Randall and Bullock. I think they have a nice little chemistry together and finding each other. You know, you see a 2-man game with them frequently, right? Where, you know, Randall will do a handoff to Bullock. Bullock will catch it. If he don't got the shot, he might get it back to Randall in the post. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, he'll go to the other side of the floor. Randall will, you know, penetrate and kick it to Bullock on the other side of the floor. You know, or you'll see them run a couple of pick and roll handoffs with each other until one of the 2 gets open. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they have a nice chemistry together. And when Bullock is out, we miss that. That's one of the things I'm always talking about, how we miss that handoff, pull up at the foul line from Bullock, or just the way that him and Randall work together. You know, we missed that. And we seen it tonight, not just because Reggie Bullock was making shots, but we seen Randall and Bullock, you know, with a lot of handoff ball movement tonight. And yes, we would like to see it more from R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle, because it is kind of, yeah, I'm going to give you the ball. I'm going to give you the ball, you know, and then now I'm going to give you the ball. Every once in a while, we will find Randall, you know, he'll be in the post and he'll find R.J. cutting to the basket. You know what I mean? Every once in a while.
But I just think too, Sim, like they're 2 different players. I mean, Bullock is obviously more of a straight shooter. Mm-hmm. You know, RJ Barrett is more of a cutter, slasher to the basket. And, you know, Bullock is always usually going to be on the corner side, or he's going to be on the top of the key or the middle of the key for the 3-pointer. And I think when Randall gets in the paint, he's either got 2 choices. He's either he's going to take it and score, or if he knows he's going to get double teamed or he's outmatched by a taller guy, he's going to kick it out to Bullock because he knows where Bullock is. Bullock is usually on the corner 3, or he's at the top of the key. He knows he's going to be ready, guns blazing, ready to shoot the shot. To whereas Barrett's a little bit more indecisive, but he also knows Barrett's always moving. Like Barrett's a great cutter. I don't think he gets enough credit. He does a great job slashing and cutting to the basket. And I mean, that is one thing that Randall could do better, is if he's at the top of the key, finding Barrett cutting to the basket. I agree with you there, but I just think those 2 players are very different. I mean, Bullock is just more of a guy who Randall's going to find, because if he gets bogged down in the paint, Bullock, he knows where Bullock's going to be. He's going to be at one of the corner 3s, or he's going to be at the top of the key, to where you don't know where Barrett's going to be, man. Barrett's always moving around. He's always everywhere, you know?
Yeah, but we're talking about like 1-2, like working off each other. Not right. That. So
yeah.
Like, yeah,
well, I mean, that's the way we would work off each other if they could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like obviously they're going to have better
like synergy. A 1-2 game. You know right. what I mean? As far as the chemistry.
Yeah, and it makes sense that Bullock and Randall are going to have better synergy, because Bullock's a shooter, Randall's inside. Usually you have an inside-outside player that's usually going to offer better synergy, to whereas RJ is more of a slasher. He's the type of guy who's going to be all over the court. So yeah, they haven't built that chemistry up, and I agree with you. I do think that they do try to play 1A and 1 and 1A. You know, which is fine. I mean, we need both scorers. We need both guys to put up points. So, right. I mean, but yeah, we'd like to see more synergy with them.
But I think because both of those guys can score the basketball, they can make opportunities easier mm-hmm. from one another, right? Because they're both, they're both threats, they can make the opportunities easier. RJ has a good handle on the basketball. I think he can create a little bit. You know, you barely ever see those 2 guys run a screen and roll together. Mm-hmm. Hardly ever.
It's always the big. It's always the center.
Right. Right. You hardly ever see those
Do you
two
think
guys
that's
run a
by
screen and roll
design, or do
together.
you think that's maybe because they just?
I
Do you
don't
think
know.
that's by design, or do you think it's just kind of?
I think that Tom Thibodeau, the coaching staff, wants to have one threat on one side of the floor and the other threat on the opposite side. You know what I'm saying? So that you always have, so now it's like if I have RJ Barrett over here and Randall over here, I can't go too far off of Barrett because if I do, Randall's going to give him the ball. Now he can be a threat to score. Same thing when Barrett has the ball. It's like I can't go too far off of Randall because now Randall's going to score now, or Randall's going to be open. And if they get him the ball, he can score the basketball. Now, we do see a lot of times, they do the little handoff at the free throw line and then Barrett to go down the left lane, for a layup. We see that a lot of times. But I would like to see a little bit more from those two guys, as far as, in the chemistry department and just creating for one another and making teams, put pressure on teams because both of those guys, are a threat out there on the floor. You know what I mean? I think that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things to pick apart about the Knicks offense, but tonight was one of those nights where they just played and shot the ball well. Their defense really did bring it home tonight. When you look at the percentages that they shot from the field tonight, and I'm going to get this over there for you guys in a minute. The Knicks shot 54% from the three-point line. From the field tonight. 54% from the field tonight. They don't normally shoot that high, but tonight was one of those nights, where they were really on point with it and knocking down the shots. They shot 54% from the field, 48.7% from the 3-point line. The Knicks scored, only 38 points in the paint because they were knocking down so many threes. 11 second chance points for both teams, and the Knicks actually won the fast break tonight. The Knicks they had 16 fast break points. And the Pistons only had 7 fast break points. That right there is a change for the Knicks. They don't always, win those fast break battles, but they've been doing better. And I think part of it is, part of it has to do with them trying to play a little bit faster, them looking up a little bit more, and it also has to do with them getting more steals. Getting more steals and then looking to run off those steals.
And getting back on defense, too. I mean, if you're going to play faster, you got to get back on defense. And the fact that they only held the 7 fast break points, that's good. You won the fast break battle, but you also kept the other team under 10 fast break points. So that's good. That means you're getting back on defense.
Right. Definitely. Strong game from the New York Knicks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the New York Knicks defeat the Detroit Pistons. They beat them by 44 points. Big blowout from the Knicks. You can easily say the best win of the season for the New York Knicks. With such a big blowout win over the Detroit Pistons. I want to know what you guys feel about Norvel Pelle. We got a chance to see him tonight. And somewhere along the way, I believe this guy, if he remains on the team, he signed to a 10-day contract, he's going to end up we're going to need him, I think, somewhere along the way. I think that we'll need him. From what you've seen from him today, how you feel about it? I'll start with you, Tony.
I mean, he fits right in defensively. We've seen that. Not only did he get the 2 blocks, back to back, but got that rebound after the second one. That's how you end the defensive play. So, I didn't really see him score or attempt a shot, so I don't know how effective he is on that end. But, if that's all he brings, we'll take it. What I'm really looking forward to is, this also gives us a bit of a cushion to where if Obi's not playing up to par, Taj could slide in and play some 4 minutes and we got another center in there. So now, this might help get Julius some more rest, if need be.
Right. And I think that's a good point. He can slide in at that 5 spot and let Taj play the 4 because he's still a shot blocker. Right? He's still a shot blocker. And we don't know what he does on the offensive side. I don't know if he can vertically space the floor, when you got Derrick Rose or Emmanuel quickly trying to throw him that oop. I guess we'll find out. He'll get a chance to, do some stuff and shoot around with the Knicks tomorrow. Maybe go through some things that they do, and figure that out a little bit. And then maybe we'll get a chance to see him against Brooklyn, if the Knicks are playing well. Obviously, right now, he's just going to be an insurance policy. But it was nice to be able to see him get on the floor tonight. In blowout situation, he could get on the floor, get a chance to run with the guys. I think he ingratiated himself to Tom Thibodeau and the team by, what he did tonight. You know what I'm saying? Getting those, messing up his finger, hitting the free throw, staying in the game, getting 2 blocks afterwards. I think he ingratiated himself to the team right there. People like, okay, we like this kid.
It was fired up.
Fired up. You know what I'm saying? They were like, okay, we like this kid. So I'm impressed. Well, I don't want to say like super impressed, but I like what I saw from him as far as the hunger and the grittiness. You know what I'm saying? Nate, I'm going to come to you in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, you can give me a call, 516-405-2246. I know it's a Saturday night. People doing what they're doing. So I get it. You know what I mean? But I do want to remind you to please smash that like button. Right? Hit that like button right now, ladies and gentlemen. And subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post to my community section. So please do that right now. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We are going to hear from Tom Thibodeau in just a minute. Not just a minute. As soon as I got the post game ready, for those who haven't heard the post game, we'll listen to the post game or post game interviews from Tom Thibodeau. But Nate Novell Pell. Now I know how to pronounce his name. Novell Pell.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bigger version of Nerlens Noel. The guy can shot block. He'll probably catch some oops once in a while. Mm-hmm. I don't think he really has a jump shot, but I think he might have attempted some shots. But he's not a shooter. He's not a jump shooter by any means. He's probably going to be closer to the rim. Listen, I love Taj Gibson. I am so impressed at his age, how he can still block shots, how he can still be such a relentless defender at his age. Like, I mean, I wish he was like 10 years younger or 5 years younger. I mean, he would definitely be in our plans. I mean, for sure. The guy just plays all heart. I would like to see Norvell play more and Taj play less right now because we need him for the playoffs. And I don't want any stupid injury to happen where it derails him for the rest of the season. You just got to be careful with that guy. He's 37 years old. He's not going to recover like most people do, most young people do. So I want to see Pell play more with Noel, behind Noel, and give Taj some rest. I think Taj deserves it. And I think, like, if I'm Tibbs, I say, listen, man, you're going to be in my rotation when we get to the playoffs, no doubt in my mind. But I want to go with Pell a little bit more because he's a bigger guy. He's younger. He's a little bit more of a shot blocker than Taj is. But I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough call because Tibbs does love Taj a lot. So, I mean, I just personally want to see more of Pell, but that's just me.
I get that, but I think that Thibodeau trusts Taj. I don't even think it's about, oh my gosh, he just loves Taj. I don't think it's about that. I think it's about, the fact that he knows what Taj is going to bring to the game.
Yeah,
he's not sure.
I mean, he loves the guy. I mean, he understands what he can bring. Like I said, yeah.
Right, and he's not sure yet what Norvell Pell can bring to the game. You know, he's not coached the guy before. So he's not sure what he does and what he's going to bring to the game. He's not sure how he's going to react in certain situations. And I don't mean react like in a bad way. I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm just saying, how does he respond to a tight game? You know, does he melt under the pressure? Those type of things. You know, can he bring the energy that you need? You know, so he knows what Taj Gibson is going to do. He's been there with him too many times. Will he be in a
tight game? That's my question, because as long as Noel is healthy, keyword healthy, Noel will be in the game at the end. I don't think you'll see Pell in those situations. Or Taj.
Well, you might with Taj, because we've seen plenty of times. Yeah. We've seen a few times when Taj was out there because Noel wasn't playing well. So we've seen him out there. You know what I mean?
We've seen him when Noel was playing well.
We've seen him when Noel is playing well. So, yeah, he'll definitely put him out there. Big shout out to Nevi Packer. Hopefully I said your name right. You said the Knicks have to trade for Towns in the offseason because Randall is not a starter on a championship team. I just leave that one there. We just won. We just beat the Detroit Pistons. Okay.
Always trying to make changes.
I'm going to just leave that one right there. You know what I mean? Hey, Karl Anthony Towns, he's about the same age as Randall. Has he been a starter on a championship team yet? I'll just leave it right there. I'm going to just leave it right there. Just let that be for now. Let's listen to Tom Thibodeau and see what he thinks about Julius Randle. How about that, Packer, Mr. Packer? I'm not trying to tease his last name. I'm just saying Mr. Packer because I can't say his first name. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to butcher his first name. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to butcher his name. So, Mr. Packer, we'll see what he has to say. This is Tom Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen, in the post game tonight. Let's take a listen.
Sandro Gasparo, Knicks Digital.
Hey, Coach. Can you just talk about tonight's bounce back effort? What you saw from the team?
I just love the togetherness, the spirit of the team. They were great in the film session, the walkthrough, and then the start of the game set the tone for the game. I thought the unselfishness, the way in which we guarded and then shared the ball, got us off to a great start, and then it was start to finish, and it was everyone. So great team win, and led by, Julius set the tone in that first quarter. Thought Reggie was terrific. Alfred ran the team beautifully, 9 assists. So the high assists, sharing the ball, running the floor was big. And our bench was terrific as well.
Steph Bondi.
Hey, Tom, I know you said before you never are comfortable, but this was a 44-point win, the biggest win for the team since, I think, 1990. Was there ever a point where you felt comfortable in the fourth quarter there?
No.
Okay.
So, and I think you guys are seeing it and obviously it was an unusual game with that type of lead, but the way teams are making up ground now, 20-point leads or nothing with the way teams, everyone's shooting 35 to 43s, and you can make up ground in a hurry. So, but I did like the way, I thought when we had the lead, we played with a lot of discipline, and I thought that was huge for us.
Mark Berman.
Hey, Tom, unusual stuff at the end with Norvell. How's his finger, and what do you think of him being able to stay in the game and do what he did with the blocks?
Yeah, pretty remarkable because the guy hasn't gone through any practices, but yeah, he was ready to go. It looked ugly, but you appreciated that he wanted to stay in, and to have those, and that's why we brought him in the rim protection, and so it said a lot about him. So obviously pleased with the way he played in that short stint there. But it was good. It was good for our team, and the guys that they work so incredibly hard, but they don't play a lot, but they're very important to our team. Guys like Theo Pinson, Jared Harper, Kevin and Frank have been phenomenal, and I know when they're called upon, they'll be ready. So it was, I think, important for those guys to get minutes. And, at some point, you need everyone.
Greg Joyce.
Tom, you sense Julius coming out right from the start, kind of looking for his shot and trying to just have a bounce back after last night?
Well, I don't, we just talked about, our group, and I love the spirit of our team. It's a very together team. They care about each other. Obviously, we're disappointed, with the losses, and and to come back and bounce back the way we did. It says a lot about the character of the team. And obviously, there's a long way to go. But these guys they're a terrific group. They work hard. They play for each other. And you can see it. There was intent on trying to correct it. But the spirit of the team, the resiliency, it showed out. And that's what you have to do. You have to fight for the things that you want.
Mark Berman.
Yeah, hey, Tom, I don't think we'll speak to you tomorrow with the Nets and the possibility that they're going to have the whole big three ready for you on Monday. What are you thinking about that matchup?
No, the same that we think about, with every opponent. We know how talented they are. We're going to have to be ready. They have even if one is out, they still have a ton of talent. They've added more talent to their team. But we know if we defend and we rebound and keep our turnovers down, we're more than capable. So, we got to study, prepare, and be ready to go when that ball goes up.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Let's talk about that. Let's get into it, man. The Nets. Obviously, that's going to be a tough game, right? That's going to be more than tough. It's going to be more than tough. There's a possibility that that all three of those superstars are going to be playing tomorrow, right? That's KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. Be the first time that we've seen them all intact. Tony, what's your take, man? What's your take?
I don't even think it's a possibility. I think KD had this game circled.
Mm.
He loves the Knicks. He loved to talk about the Knicks. He loved to think about the Knicks. So I think he had this game circled. Hey man, hopefully we up for the task, man. Let's show. Like I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, we're gonna beat them, blah 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 blah. But let's hope we have a performance from everybody. A full team effort, full 48 minutes. Let's give them our best shot and see where we at. You know what I mean? And at the very least, we're gonna have to attack. If we give them our best shot offensively, I think we have a shot. I mean, obviously, we got to play our defense.
Right.
If we have our best offensive effort across the board, we have a shot.
Nate, what's your take, man? What do you think?
Well, how I feel about the Nets, man. With those three guys, I don't care how good a defense you have. It's going to be impossible to shut those three down. One thing I will say, and I've been watching the Nets lately a lot, is they have a lot of good role players. Mm-hmm. I mean, they got guys that can shoot the three at a high clip. Mm-hmm. Shamet, TLC, Tyler Johnson, Jeff Green, Brown, it's maybe to some extent. They have a lot of shooters on that team, and they move the ball very well. Oh, Joe Harris too. Forgot about that dude. So the Knicks, not only are the Knicks going to have to be on point with their defense, but they're going to have to really get out on these shooters, because the Nets are one team that loves to shoot the three. That is what they're all about, is shooting the three, and they do it at a very high clip. And oh my God, if Kevin Durant's playing, man.
Hey, listen. I mean, listen. No, let's put it like this: if we end up facing these guys in the playoffs, all three of those guys are going to play. So, if any time that I want to see them, all three on the floor together, it needs to be now, so that you can game plan for it. You can see how you match up against them, right? And I'm not saying we're going to have a chance at beating them in the playoffs, but you want to give it your best shot. And the only way to give it your best shot is if you face off against them, so that you can see what can we realistically do with this team. How do we game plan? Who defends who? You know what I mean? When we're playing against this team. The one thing we know is that their defense is not great. You know?
It's gotten better, but it's not still
It's gotten better, but it's not great. And if we can score the basketball, you know, maybe we can stick with them and stay with them. Obviously, they got three guys that come down the stretch that's going to be almost impossible to guard and impossible to stop. But if we got it, you know, we could see them in the playoffs. So that means we got to figure out what we can do now. You know, I honestly, I'd much rather right now all three of those guys be playing than not against us. You know, because if let's just say that KD didn't play, or one of those guys don't play, so we don't get to see all three of them together against us, and then we meet them in the playoffs, and we've never seen what we look like matched up against them together, and now we get in the playoffs, that first game we get obliterated. You know, because we haven't seen what it looks like. So now, you know, I want all three of them to play, just so we can get a chance to see what it looks like. You know, and it's hard right now for me to even talk about and say, well, we need to do this, that, and the third, because we don't know what it's going to look like. Obviously, if all three of them play, Julius Randle's probably going to guard KD. He guarded him last time. I would say Elfrid Payton's going to guard Kyrie, and Reggie Bullock is going to guard James Harden.
Oh, James Harden.
Right, James Harden. And then, you know, RJ Barrett is going to guard, you know, whoever else they have out there, Joe Harris, and then whoever they got, Noel's going to guard DeAndre Jordan. And then, of course, coming off the bench, you got Blake Griffin and you got LaMarcus Aldridge coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know,
Jeff Green's actually playing center, Sim.
And you got Jeff Green. You got Jeff Green coming off that bench, too. So they have a veteran bench coming into the game. Guys that know how to play the basketball game, which makes it really tough.
Jeff Green started the last game.
Oh, he started the last game. So, you know.
Yeah, he played center.
Well, where was DeAndre Jordan? Was he there?
No, John Jordan wasn't there. It was Jeff Green at center, LaMarcus at the 4. Yeah. Joe at 3.
Okay, so I'm assuming if they're fully healthy. I'm speaking as if they're fully healthy. Right. So I don't know right now who's playing and who's not playing with Brooklyn. I'm just speaking as if they're fully healthy. If they're fully healthy, DeAndre Jordan is starting at the center spot, right? And you got probably KD or whoever starting at the power forward spot. Then you got Joe Harris, Kyrie, and James Harden. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, obviously if they have injuries, they're going to bring different guys in. But, you know, of course, their bench is going to have to be ready to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because they got some guys on the bench that just know how to get it done. You know, just know how to get it done. The last game that the Brooklyn Nets played against the Charlotte Hornets, they beat them 111-89. 111-89, and Kyrie was at point guard, of course. KD didn't play. James Harden didn't play. Right, so their starting five was Kyrie. 111. The starting five was Kyrie Irving, Bruce Brown, LaMarcus Aldridge, Jeff Green, and Joe Harris. Right, and then off the bench, you know, you had Alize Johnson, Reggie Perry, Chris Chiozza, TLC, Nicholas Claxton, Tyler Johnson, and Landry Shamet. Okay, and they had mad balance scoring. Kyrie had 15 points, 8 assists, and 11 rebounds. Bruce Brown had 14 points. LaMarcus Aldridge had 11. Jeff Green had 21. Joe Harris had 9. Tyler Johnson had 15. Landry, he had 17. So they had balanced scoring. All right, so we'll see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see who shows up against us versus Brooklyn.
Like, see what the line is for that game.
Caller, you're live. What's popping?
Yes, please. I'm watching this show, and I'm really enjoying the show.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I saw the Knicks play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
A great deal of tenacity. They're really hungry to win the game.
Yeah.
I just want to point out one thing. As I hear you discuss about the Nets are playing on Sunday and also playing on Monday. They're playing back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
But that should help the Knicks a little bit because the Knicks are off on Sunday. What do you think about that?
The only thing I say about that is, the Nets are a team that they sit their players left and right. Right? So tomorrow night, who are they playing? They play Chicago tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Tomorrow afternoon, actually, at 2 p.m., they play Chicago. I wouldn't be surprised if they sat a number of their players, right? Maybe, maybe Kyrie sits and James Harden and KD play because, James Harden and KD didn't play the previous game. So they're a team that's doing that, and they have a lot of talent. You got the Blake Griffiths now, and you got LaMarcus Aldridge. You got Jeff Green, who knows how to get it done. You know what I mean? So when you got these guys that know how to get it done, they have the luxury of being able to sit players and let them rest.
I agree with that.
So I think that they'll probably be able to have enough guys where they can, play tomorrow. And then play a totally new five, have a whole new starting five against us on Monday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're pretty deep. They're pretty deep.
Yeah.
I understand that. But the last time we played them, though, the referee actually decided our game.
Yeah, no lie about that. No lie about that. I think back to that last game, and as I, as the days passed by, and I looked at that game, and I looked at that last play, the more I looked at it, I said, man, Julius Randle, while he was in the air, he should have just hit the ball off of Kyrie's head. He would have been able to come down and take a dribble and pull up or do whatever. You know what I'm saying? He should have just banged it off his head real quick. Boom. And it looked like, if you see it in slow motion, he was in the air, and he looked at Kyrie. And maybe he even thought about it. But then he decided to take the dribble and try to pull it up, and they called it travel. He really could have just bopped it off of his head. And it wouldn't have been a foul. It wouldn't have been any kind of, negligent play. It would have been just a good basketball play. Banged it off of his head, took that dribble, and bam. But, that's past. But I think the Knicks, because of that play, maybe the Knicks really, really, really want this one really, really bad.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
And I want to ask you one thing, though.
Yeah.
What is going on with Randall arguing so much with the ref? He got a tech tonight. I mean, he needs to slow down. He has about 6 techs so far this year.
Yeah.
Okay? He's getting to his head now. He's a superstar. He could argue with the ref. I don't know. I'm just saying it.
Yeah. And it's been happening a lot. Even before the All-Star break, he was doing a lot of arguing with the refs. I think he, especially even, leading up to the All-Star break, he was really starting to get frustrated because so much of the scoring load is on his shoulders, and he has the ball much that he's getting hit. You know what I'm saying? And the refs can't call everything. They're not going to be able to see everything, but he's getting hit a lot. And obviously he doesn't get every call. And I think it's, it was really frustrating them and getting to him. And it's something that he has to learn, how to deal with. But we can't afford, I think if you get 13 techs or something like that, 13 or 14 techs, that's when you get suspended.
Yes,
somewhere around there.
That's correct.
Yeah,
I know that. That's not going to happen. But last but not least, I just want to say kudos to Obi Toppin. Plays a lot of minutes tonight. I'm liking what I'm seeing about him now lately.
Yeah, exactly. He's starting to turn it up.
Yes.
And I keep saying if he can do that, if he can start to turn the corner and start to give us 9-10 points a game, that's a big lift for the Knicks. A huge lift for the Knicks. Yeah. Yep. So
Thank you so much. Great show, man. Great show. Keep it up, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the time.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
And just to
Toppin haters are quiet.
hey, I was one of the people that said put him on the bench.
Yep, you sure
I
did.
was one of the ones. I said put him on the bench, put Kevin Knox in the game. You know what I mean? But but now he's starting to play, and I'm like, no, don't put him on the bench now. Let him do what he's doing. See what happens. See what happens. Just to clarify myself, 16. If you get 16 technical fouls, it'll result in a 1-game suspension. So he's got 10 technical fouls to go. I don't want him to use them, but he's got 10 of them to go. Speaking of Julius Randle, let's hear from Julius Randle and Reggie Bullock in the post game. See what they got to say about this game here. And I'm pretty sure both of those guys are going to be all smiles, feeling good about this game, you know, because they did what they had to do. Let's hear it. This is Julius Randle, ladies and gentlemen, and Reggie Bullock in the post game together. Let's take a listen.
Good. Now we got a 2-for-1 special. 2-for-1.
Hey, everyone. Please raise your hand if you have a question. I'll bring you into the room. Steph Bondi.
Hey, this is for whomever. How good? I mean, you guys obviously had the tough loss last night. How good did it feel to not only come here and win, but to do it, you know, by winning by 44 points and do it so comfortably?
I mean, it was a great feeling. Coach, he definitely harped on it in our shoot around. We've been in a slump for these last 3 games, so we just had to come out, get back to having fun, having great energy, and that's what we tried to do tonight. Just came out and play hard.
Sandro Gasparo, Knicks Digital.
Hey, can you guys just talk about Norvell Pell's debut, you know, going down with the finger injury, but then getting back up, blocking those couple shots towards the end?
Saying a player like that, you know, that just joined us, go down with a finger injury and be able to, you know, wrap it right back up, make 2 big blocks at the end of the game, just show his energy. He's a Knicks type of player with his fight and his grit that he played with to be able to still continue playing the game. So we love that fight from him.
Greg Joyce.
Julius, can you just describe what it feels like to go through that start that you had where you come out hitting everything and you're up 14-0 before, you know, first few minutes in?
I couldn't hit anything yesterday. So, you know, it's I guess the basketball guys turn it around, but I just tried to come out and be aggressive. And really, like, the whole team just come out and play with energy, just get back having fun, like Boyle said, and you know, just let the game come to me. And, everybody just made it easy on me, and you know, just making it whatever play is there. You know, whether it's score, whether it's pass, just play with energy and play how I know how to play.
Mark Berman.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be speaking to you tomorrow. So with the Nets, they may have their big 3 ready for you on Monday. I was wondering what you guys thought of facing those guys.
We got a big 5. So we got a big 15. Big 15. So we're not really concerned about their big 3. We know what type of basketball we will be able to come into the game and play. We focus on our team. The game plan that Coach draw up, but other than that, that's all we focused on, the Knicks.
Greg Joyce.
Reggie, how comfortable are you shooting in this arena, and what does it feel like when you and Julius had, I think it was 28 of the first 30 points of the game?
I mean, obviously I played here for 4 years, but like I said, I give credits to my teammates, give credits to Jules. He definitely get me involved. I try to space for him, set screens, get people off of him, and just space. And he's been doing a great job all year finding shooters, finding perimeter players to be able to put the ball in the hole. So it came out today. Shots was falling for me, so I just kept shooting it.
Steph Bondi.
And that when you said the big 15, I mean, is that the mentality of you guys? And, you know, how far can that take you guys?
It should be the mentality of every team in this league. It's 15 players on the roster. With our team that we have, with our leader as our coach, and, you know, our leader as Jules on the court, that's what we're here. We're here to compete. We're here to win games. We know how great we can be. That was one of our goals at the beginning of the year, to go out and compete against everyone and have fun while doing it. So, yeah, we're the Big 15.
Mark Berman.
Yeah, Julius, just about the Nets and the fact that they may be at full strength on Monday, and you haven't seen that. How do you view going against that lineup?
You asked that already, Mark.
That was
we worried about us. We feel like we come out, we got a whole team of guys, and we try to play the right way. We play hard, play with energy, and we feel like we do that, we give ourselves a chance to win against anybody. So, like I said, it's not about them. It's not about who they have or who they don't have. We worried about us and what we got to do to go out there and compete on a high level on a night-to-night basis.
Thank you, Reggie and Julius.
Appreciate you.
You want to see if we got a different answer?
Yo, my man Mark Berman be bugging sometimes, man. I guess so, because Reggie Bullock answered it. He wanted Julius to answer, but
you asked that, Mark. No love for the Nets, man. I love it. I love it. No respect, no love. Let's do it.
Yeah, I love the response. We got a big 15. A big 15. Facts. I like that. Maybe they should have said 17 because you got two, you got two-way players. But, hey, a big 15. I like that. Man, I like the response that they had there.
Sarah man for himself.
You got to put that on the shirt, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. We got to put that joint on a shirt or something. Big 15. The big 15. I'm feeling that. Hey, you know what? I listen. I like the I like the attitude, and how they think, about coming out and going up against a team like the Nets. Hopefully, they feel like they can beat the Nets. They should feel like they could beat the Nets. It doesn't mean it's reality, but they should feel that way because they've played them 2 games, and both those games will come down to the stretch. Now, obviously, they haven't played them at full tilt. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you what
the Knicks aren't at full tilt either.
True, and they're still not at full tilt. But I'm gonna tell you what I like. They easily could have said they have a lot of talent over there. Mm-hmm. We know what KD, Kyrie, James Harden can do, right? And we know what Blake and LaMarcus can do, and they got a lot of talent. They're on one level. We're trying to get to that level. They could have said all of those things.
Mm-mm.
Right? But no, they said, we're not worried about that big 3. We got a big 15. I like that.
There's some serious hate between them.
They didn't give him any props. Nothing like that. They just said, we're not worried about them. We're worried about doing what we do. I like that. I like that attitude going into the game. And it gives me some confidence, to be honest with you. I ain't even gonna lie. It gives me some confidence about the game. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel good about the game. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head up out of here. Tony, any last words before we get up out of here?
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to you, Nate. Shout out to you, Sim. Your Blackest Time. Keep doing your thing, Sim.
No doubt. Nate, any last words?
Yeah, man. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to y'all. Y'all have a great Easter weekend. Everybody in the chat have a great Easter weekend. Yeah, man. I mean, great win, and let's see what happens against the Nets. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no doubt. And please, I do want to remind everybody that I just put my email in the chat. So ladies that are listening and in the chat, if you want to be part of the panel with Steph, and it's going to be all ladies on the panel. I'm not even going to be there. It's going to be all ladies. Steph's show. She's the moderator. She's the host. Please email me.
She's the queen.
Right? Please email me. Exactly. She is the queen of NBK, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Please email me. Margaret Edwards, happy birthday. She said today is her birthday. Happy birthday to you. Glad that you could join us tonight on your birthday. Or this morning on your birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. I just put my email in the chat. So if you want to join Steph on that panel when that show pops off, please make sure that you email me. It's also pinned to the top of your YouTube chat so that you can email me there. The last thing that I want to say is please keep DMX in your prayers, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty sure a lot of you out there are DMX fans. We all know that DMX right now is, he's in the hospital on life support. And, we're praying that he comes through. So please keep DMX in your prayers, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. I will catch you guys. I don't know if I'm going to do a shoot around tomorrow. Probably not. Probably won't do a shoot around tomorrow, but I'll be back on Monday. But if anything happens with the Knicks, of course, I'll, do a couple little small updates or anything. Again, say your prayers for DMX. Happy birthday to Margaret Edwards. We're up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful. Spread love as usual. Happy holidays to you.